So every time AI disappoints you at work, it's almost always the same mistake. You probably gave it some giant doc and you said just figure it out. You didn't give the AI a job. And once you understand the difference between giving it a job versus giving it a doc, you're never going to prompt the same ever again. Okay, now quick context in case you missed the last video. Uploading a file is not the same thing as giving context to an LLM. And today I'm going to show you a quick thing that you can do to get better prompt results. These are things that you can type into the chat before an LLM even sees your doc. Let's say you take some kind of spreadsheet, the Q2 forecast, and you drop this directly into ChatGPT. This is a multi-tab financial model, the type that finance circulates every quarter to the company. And let's say you ask some kind of obvious question. Is our Q2 forecast realistic? The numbers appear internally consistent and the assumptions seem reasonable, and maybe you should consider a sensitivity analysis. And it's like, dude, I asked for an answer, not a fortune cookie. This answer means nothing. But the tricky thing here is that the model actually isn't wrong. You gave it some kind of doc and it described the doc. Think about it like this. If you took the prompt that you sent to the LLM and you just sent it to a coworker, is that coworker gonna be able to do what you had in mind? They're probably gonna have the same fortune cookie response as the LLM did. They might even ghost you because why are you dropping these files without any context? Now the problem is that you didn't give them any task or job, all you did was give them homework without any instructions. Now watch what happens when you provide additional context. We're going to attach the same file, but we're going to give it more information, just one line at a time. So you drop in the same file, and in the front you say, this is our Q2 forecast, built by FP&A and reviewed by finance leadership. Standard quarterly model, not a restatement. Now, the model knows that it's a forecast. It doesn't have to decipher what the heck this is. It's not going to waste brain power trying to figure out what the document is, and instead, it's going to focus on the numbers. So now, let's add another sentence. We present this to the board Tuesday. I need to pressure test this, not rewrite it, and just flag what's weak within the document. So you run this again, and there should be a big difference. The model is now going to stop summarizing this, and instead it's going to find the inconsistencies and the needle in the haystack. So now you add some more context. At our company, at plan means 92% of target, and we sandbag 8%. In this case, realistic means we can defend this if a board member pushes back. With this new frame, the model can now start thinking like a finance person, and it's going to flag the things that finance actually cares about instead of following like a random textbook definition of the word realistic. Okay, now the last one. Give me 3 line items most likely to be incorrect and include your rationale. Do not give me a sensitivity analysis and do not simply tell me to review assumptions. Now you run this and the answer should come back in a way that's a lot more useful than what you got initially. An ideal answer to this might be something like, enterprise expansion is the weak spot. You're assuming 18% growth, but the last 3 quarters were 7 and 6. If the board pushes back, this is where they will push first. Now that's finally useful. This is an argument that I can actually assess, I can actually challenge it, and I can actually defend it. Now you see, nothing about the doc changed. All we did was provide additional context that the model needs in order to give you a better response. No changes to the doc at all. The difference is that we actually defined a concrete job that the model can do. Look, all it takes is 4 simple things. What it is, what I'm deciding, how we talk, and what good looks like. That's all it takes. And these are the same things that you would probably give to a new hire if you're assigning them a new job or task. So just remember this, if you wouldn't send a file to your analyst and say, hey, please figure this out without providing any additional context, then you shouldn't do this to an AI either. Ask yourself, did I give the model a doc or did I actually give it a job? And that's not the model's fault, it's actually your fault. Once you actually define the job that the LLM is supposed to do, you're going to get way better results and you're going to start using this differently as a tool. AI is not magic, and it's really operating under the assumption that the document that you're giving is correct. If the underlying document is just completely wrong, all you're going to get is an answer that is confidently wrong from the LLM. In the example that we covered today, we're operating under the assumption that You already know what good looks like. Now, let's take this other example. Maybe your boss is asking you to do some analysis on 80 research sites, and they're leaving you with some kind of ambiguous task that's like, hey, just help me figure out what matters. This is a slightly harder problem that we're going to be covering in the next video. But in the meantime, let me know what documents you upload into ChatGPT where you're just getting completely useless responses. Let me know in the comments, because this is how I decide what to create next.